Dianne Feinstein returned to the Senate last week after being away for 2.5 weeks because of a shingles diagnosis. Now, based on a pretty concerning interaction that she had with reporters on the Hill, it doesn't seem like she's even aware that she had been gone for 2.5 months. So what do I mean by that? Well, yesterday, one of her male staffers escorted her on his arm to go vote on the Senate floor. So Jim Newell, who is a journalist at Slate, wrote this. It was about a minute later that I encountered Feinstein coming off an elevator, sitting in a wheelchair and flanked by staff. It's been hard to find the senator since her return. She kept her movements mostly to the least populated passageways and skipped luncheons and non-urgent committee hearings. Now, he asked her, like, how are you doing? You doing okay? And she said, quote, oh, I'm feeling fine. I have a problem with the leg. So a different reporter at that point jumps in and asks what was wrong with the leg. And she says, well, nothing. Nothing that's anyone's concern but mine.
Oh, not necessarily, but.
Which, look, all things aside, I do appreciate the salt. Like, she brings up the leg. Someone asks, like, oh, what's up with the leg? She's like, none of your business, okay? Step aside. Okay, but here's where things get bad. Now, according to Newell, when the other reporter asked her what the response from her colleagues had been since she has returned, the conversation took a strange turn, and that's where it kind of became clear that she wasn't even aware that she had been gone for a while, right? So she says, quote, no, I haven't been gone. You should follow I haven't been gone, I've been working. When asked whether she meant that she'd been working from home, she became a little agitated and said this, no, I've been here. I've been voting. Please, you either know or don't know.
That's true, Senator Yoda. That is true, but I'm gonna flip it back around on you. Do you know? Do you know? Is there anything more in terms of quotes? Because I'm not 100% convinced.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because I think it might be a little bit of a misinterpretation of what she. Look, I throw this out here because we have, I think, a commitment as a news organization to try to be fair.
No, I think we should be super unfair. Are you kidding me? Of course we do.
Yeah. That said, it's Dianne Feinstein, so it's entirely possible that she doesn't know that she was gone. I had read that she had been back at that point for 5 to 7 days or something, and that you could interpret it as her being like, no, I've been here, I've been voting, back off. I didn't get back 5 minutes ago, I got back a week ago, rather than I literally was never gone. Who are you? Is there a new episode of Seinfeld coming out tonight?
Maybe,
yeah.
Maybe, I mean.
But it is Dianne Feinstein, so I understand why people would lean towards the other interpretation.
She should resign.
Well, either way, she should resign.
This is all crazy. All of this is crazy.
She should resign effective as of 12 years ago. But yeah, she's not.
I mean, yeah, she's been voting over the past week, so maybe she misinterpreted the question, which is why she got so snippy, right?
Well, I think she's probably snippy about the entire topic because to whatever extent she can understand the conversations that she's having or remember them, definitely there's been a lot of them about the pressure that's being put on her. I'm sure lots of people have been calling her. So she's probably been increasingly frustrated as the days go by, just not as frustrated or as legitimately frustrated as the entire country is as it sees the opportunity for Biden to shape the judiciary, sort of like blowing away like it's been Thanos.
No, but look, she was asked, okay, like what was the response from your colleagues since you've returned? And that's the line of questioning.
Yeah, but couldn't the response have been over the last 5-7 days or whatever? I get what you're saying, and I'm not sure. I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my gut instinct. I don't think that she remembers that she was gone for 2.5 months.
That is
crazy. A huge possibility. I mean, now you've put some, denial in my head, and there's a possibility you're right. We don't know for sure, and we should be fair. But with that said, I mean, there's now countless reports about what she's experiencing with, mental decline and all of that.
Yeah, that's not disputable.
No, it's not disputed. And the fact that we're all just pretending like this is okay, and by we all, I don't mean us literally, I mean the country, the Democratic Party is a mess.
I mean, there's a lot of people who are denying it, and we're just powerless in the face of it.
That's true.
Dianne Feinstein is basically climate change in human form. We know it's a big issue, but what the hell are we gonna do about it?
She, so after deflecting, that question about how she, I know. I know it's funny, your joke, but it's also incredibly depressing.
Yeah.
Like our state
I'm crying down the inside of my eye canals. Salty. So
Feinstein has been in Washington and voting for the past week, as we mentioned, while coming to committee hearings on a need-be basis. But it's definitely not true that she's been like physically present in the Senate between February and literally last week. Now, her office even declined to comment on the interaction. When Newell spoke to other lawmakers to ask what they think about this whole situation, some were direct, others not so much, okay? So when asked if there was any remaining optimism that Feinstein could regain total function as a member of the Judiciary Committee, Senator Blumenthal, for instance, said this: "There's one job that no one else can do for us, which is to vote. And she's been doing that job in the last few days, and so far as I can tell, she's been doing well."
Good.
Senator Sheldon Whitehouse was a little more blunt in not wanting to answer the question. He just said, "I'm gonna leave that to the medics." Democrats are embarrassing, man. I mean, that's like the big takeaway for me.
I guess, so she's voting, we're getting judges again?
I mean, look.
That's good,
That's better than where we were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I just hope that whoever is leading her to her desk and putting her hand over the button has the right motivations, is all, since they're apparently choosing what happens here.
I'm gonna give you a little more information, okay? From a Rolling Stone piece that was written recently, earlier this week to be exact. So multiple sources say that in recent years, Feinstein's office had an all on-call system unbeknownst to Feinstein herself, to prevent the senator from ever walking around the Capitol on her own. At any given moment, there was a former member ready to jump up and stroll alongside the senator if she left her office, worried about what she'd say to reporters if left unsupervised. This is a United States senator. It's not a game, it's not a joke. And the fact that we have an entire political party, one that we historically have agreed with on policies, and I say historically because lately, what do Democrats stand for?
Well, I mean, we're more likely to agree.
We're more likely to agree with them, but in terms of like what they've been up to, what they've been working on, what they've tried to accomplish, I mean, there's a lot of rhetoric that's
the Willow
agreeable.
Project.
Right, I mean, anyway, but long story short, this party is increasingly embarrassing, incompetent, ineffective, and corrupt. And that's not to say that I favor the other side. I definitely don't favor the Republican Party, but I just feel so lost in knowing what to do at this point. Like I don't belong anywhere at this point.
Yeah,
Democrats, Republicans, no.
I had high hopes for the primary this time around, and it's not looking yet like we're gonna get the primary we wanted.
It's gonna be the same by the way, every presidential election cycle, it's gonna be the same.
I don't agree.
I
don't think the last three have all been the same. I think 2016, 2020
the Democratic
very different.
apparatus, the DNC, is not going to allow a progressive to excel. They're just not.
Well, yes, but the question is, are they able to block it? I mean, it was close in 2016. It was very close in 2020.
They'll always find a way to squash it.
Well, they're always going to try to. You're right. I'm just gonna do this. Actually, this is more comfortable.
Good. It's great.
Bring me food eventually, please. No, we still have to fight. If only to fill time, we have to fight.
I know. We'll keep fighting.
Anyway, but yeah, that's totally embarrassing, the staff member thing. It reminds me of, you remember when there's the video of Trump gets out of the car or whatever, and he just starts wandering off the runway and they have to go and get him?
Yeah. Like Biden does on every stage after a speech?
You know, the most suspicious thing about this entire thing is, as far as I have seen, the Republicans don't care at all. Isn't that weird? There's like a senior Democrat who's like mentally incapable of doing their job. Not a peep. There's no monologues, there's no
why would they care?
Well, exactly. So in some cases they might because they think that they can replace him. In this case, they don't because they know if they put pressure on her, if she gets taken out, we get someone better who can actually do the job, who might actually sponsor legislation, who might meet with constituents. Like the Democratic Party is acting exactly like the Republican Party here.
No, I mean,
that's crazy and unacceptable.
By the way, you should get used to that. You should have already been used to that. The Democratic Party acts like Republicans all the freaking time.
I understand in terms of some policy. I'm saying in terms of whether you should raise a scandal or not, they should not agree.
Cenk has a theory, and I think it's an excellent one, about why the Democratic Party isn't pushing for Feinstein to resign. And it's because if she were to resign before her term is up, Governor Gavin Newsom in California, where of course Dianne Feinstein is a United States Senator, would get to nominate or appoint someone for that seat until the election happens. Okay, he has committed to publicly filling that role with a black woman. That's what he has said. But the only person that would fit that description would be Barbara Lee, who's a progressive.
Maybe. Maybe from our point of view. I'm not sure from his point of view. Also, he lies.
I mean, who else would it be?
He lies a lot, so he could just be lying, and he could just.
He does lie a lot, but I feel like
he's
that
a big old liar. Got to factor that in.
But okay, so what's the motivation then? Why won't Democrats push her to resign and then promote a different Democratic senator to the Senate Judiciary Committee?
I think the Democrats historically have a much greater remaining attachment to the dignity of the Senate and the traditions and the norms. And especially very few Democrats want to set a precedent where we're like critically looking at their ability to do their job and eventually pushing them out the door, because every one of them wants to hold office until they're 1,000 years old. Biden, I mean, you could criticize him much the same way. Do they want to open up a national conversation about pushing elderly politicians out when they can no longer do the job? So I get why they don't want to do it, but I also think we're GD California, we deserve an actual progressive just as a treat. One time in our life, an actual progressive who represents one of the most progressive states in the country.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.